Cherokee Community School District is looking for a new insurance provider. The current company is dropping them after the district's decision to have some staff members carry guns. KTIV's Clayton Anderson has that.
Though passed last fall, a change to the school district's firearms policy to arm staff was just one reason EMC Insurance chose not to continue to insure the school district. The school board president says they have alternatives.
We're not concerned. We have been looking into different policies as we do every year. We knew that premiums were going to go up quite a bit this year. So we already have several in our pocket that as backups.
Thomas says the district is still early in the implementation of the change to its firearms policy.
We're still very early in this process, so we kind of anticipated that there could be some issues with insurance, but we're very confident in our insurance agents and that we will get the best policy for the best price.
Christina Reiner, a parent in the district, is also a member of the Cherokee Community School District Stakeholders for Accountability. It's a group opposed to the new firearms policy, and she says she would like to see more transparency and alternatives to the new policy.
You're never wrong with too much information, right? The more information you have, the better choices you can make.
Cherokee County Sheriff Derek Scott says he has concerns about safety and wants to make sure those that are armed are knowledgeable about their weapon the same way law enforcement officers are.
It carries a lot of responsibility to not have an accidental discharge. Another concern was if we respond as a law enforcement agency to this, to an active shooter or something, recognizing who the active shooter is and not mistakenly shoot a staff or someone else that is carrying a weapon.
He's not the only one with concerns. Some district parents and prospective parents are concerned too.
Whenever you put firearms into a situation, you're adding risk.
Board members said the school won't be without insurance. In fact, every year they look at insurance provider to see which one is best. In Cherokee, Iowa, Clayton Anderson, KTIV News 4.